The Bronco Mendenhall, sort of a renaissance man as it pertains to football coaches, for sure. No secret about the fact that he wants another job. And I don't think for a second that he was just being specific, but there was so much in that. I don't want to call it campaign pitch, but yeah, I'm going to, but it wasn't, I don't mean that derisively. That sounded like, I want to be the coach at Nebraska. I mean, that's what it sounded like to me. Do you agree?
Well, here's the thing.
And I'm not trying to get you to divulge any.
No. I think this, Rece, like there's 3 open jobs. One has terrible alignment at Arizona State, quite frankly, and we're not sure what's going to happen with Ray Anderson, the AD there. And Michael Crow, the president there, was like Larry Scott's long champion. He's muddied the water in athletics and kept the sleeping giant asleep. He's been the what's that on Thanksgiving, the trip opening that you have with the turkey?
He's been tryptamine, I think.
Tryptamine. Anyway, he's been the sleeping giant's tryptamine. He is. Michael Crow has kept it napping, and so. If he's genuine about alignment, which I think he is, especially when you hear how philosophical he is and how thoughtful he is about organizational structure. He gave me a great quote the other day when talking about why we are where we are in college athletics. He said, organizations are perfectly designed for the results they get. And I thought that is like really simple and profound. So Arizona State wouldn't fit in that. When Auburn opens, it certainly wouldn't fit in that. And then obviously there's an athletic director search at Georgia Tech that would precede any coaching search. So you don't know if there's alignment there, quite frankly. So if there were to be an open job that he was speaking of, the only one that would fit would be Nebraska.
And I think, in all honesty, the way he answered the question I asked him is going to be one he's going to have to answer anywhere.
It was a great question.
You know, why should I believe as the AD that you're not going to feel the same way in a year or two that you just felt at Virginia and needed time off? He's a young guy. I sincerely appreciated the fact that he continued to emphasize that 56 was young, considering that I too am 56. So I had a great appreciation for that. And he's right about that, all joking aside, particularly as a head coach. There's no one out there necessarily that delivers the same type of program building credentials that he can bring you in terms of people out of work. I mean, there obviously, if you go and take another coach, if they were able to take the Kansas or Kansas State coach, Leipold or Kleiman, either of those guys have national championships on their resumes. Clearly, they can build programs too. But he's got a pretty strong resume to walk into any of these open jobs or any that may come open in the coming weeks and months too. So I think he'll be back in. The question is where, and will it be at the highest level, or will it be one of a stepping stone back? That's what remains to be seen, I think.
Yeah. I think right now he would be the top out of work coach candidate on the board, he and Tom Herman, and they're probably pretty different fits, right?
Very different.
And they're two guys who are both very successful. Tom, especially at Houston, and they're wired very different. So,
and both very smart, by the way. But
Tom,
different sensibilities. Both very intelligent guys.
Yes, so. And I think that the places that are open or are inevitably going to open have huge roster deficits right now. Georgia Tech's roster is not good. Nebraska's roster is probably better than it's playing, but it is not good. Arizona State's roster is being well featured at all other schools, but the good players they recruited are all playing elsewhere right now. So if you can come in and evaluate what you have, identify needs in the portal, and then get a halfway decent high school class, you can at least get yourself back to, conversationally competitive. And quite frankly, those places are non-competitive right now in a lot of ways. When you look at what Eastern Michigan did to Arizona State, you look at Georgia Southern going to Lincoln and beating Nebraska, and you look at Georgia Tech really the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating conversation. Really interesting guy. Appreciate Bronco Mendenhall joining us on the College GameDay Podcast. Touched on a couple of games along the way, and that means that we are well set up to miss a bunch of picks. I'm afraid to find out what my record was on the podcast on Friday, but you can join us for the Friday edition picks of the College GameDay Podcast. Bill Connolly will join us then. Download this one and that one, wherever it is you prefer to get your podcast. We'll see you on Friday.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.